You guys are ready, Dayne St.
Take us through the penalty shootout.
Yeah, I think obviously I know it's a moment for me to shine. A lot of pressure's on me in that moment, but I think especially with the crowd tonight, the noise that they were making, I felt something going into it. You know what I mean? I think whoever selected the song going into had me a little hyped up, and it was just taking a moment for myself to kind of compose myself. But obviously, don't save the first one, but as soon as I save the second one, I know we're winning for sure in that moment, and I know I'm going to get another one.
I mean, it was impressive because obviously your role directly is saving shots and throwing shooters off, but also noticed right before you made your first save and Hassani stepped up to take his kick, you were quieting the Wonderwall and trying to get him to get his headspace. How much of that like orchestration do you think through, or how much is just in the moment you knowing you need to set the tone?
For sure, I think obviously there's a lot of eyes on me, and of course I want the crowd to be loud when I'm in the net, but I think obviously people practice. When we practice them, there's really not much noise or very limited, you know what I mean? So I think to be able to kind of quiet the crowd down, of course you're going to hear a little bit of noise still, but to kind of take the moment and let the shooters for our team kind of go through their process as well, but I know I can thrive as loud as it is. So for me, it's kind of creating that pressure, and credit to the fans tonight because I think they played a role for us shooting and for us when I was in it as well.
Coach Ramsey was talking about how Bonnie is kind of playing an experimental role on that side of the field and having to drop back from time to time. How much do you try to help him and direct traffic from where you are to make sure he's in the right spot?
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask him, he probably hears me screaming at him for majority of the game to make sure he's in the right spot. But credit to him because obviously he's being asked to be on the last line when we have the ball, and then obviously he's part of the back line when we don't have the ball. So obviously it's a lot of running for him, but he's more than capable, and credit to him because he hasn't complained once about it. But I know when I yell at him, it gives him a little extra motivation to get those 5 extra yards.
And how much does it mean to you and this group to be moving on to the second round now, given what you guys have played this last month and a half, really?
For sure, I think we're definitely happy, but we're not satisfied as well. We know that we can go to Galaxy and go there and get a result and continue to move on. I think in this moment, it wasn't just about making the playoffs for this team or winning, getting out the first round. If we're going to do it, let's go all the way.
We also let you get the ball in the net a couple of times. It didn't count. Does it mess with your head to have to pick the ball out of the net even if it doesn't end up counting?
Not at all. I think especially the first one, as soon as it goes in, I know that guy's in an offside position. So I was even yelling at Tori to get to the VAR because I knew that in that moment it was offside. And then when I slip and the ball goes in, you definitely have a sigh of relief in that moment. But obviously, I know as well going into it, it's about the next action. Whether I make a save or whether the ball goes in, I always got to be ready for the next play.
Is there anything, I mean, MLS, you've been in several shootouts at this point in all competitions, but also having that experience in the Copa America this summer as well, does that kind of help with just a different atmosphere, different sort of gamesmanship tactics?
MLS definitely helps because most of these guys speak English versus Copa America. I don't know how great those English, how great of English speakers they are, but yeah, I think tonight the crowd, I think I kind of gave them a different look in as well because in the first game I kind of said a couple things, but I kind of focused on it. But I think when you play it again 5 days later, you kind of had to. Everyone starts thinking about it more. Am I going to dive the same way? Is he going to shoot the same way? Do I switch up where I'm comfortable going? So I think it creates a lot more room for me to create a lot more doubt in their mind, and that's kind of what I tried to focus on.
Clair, congratulations. Tonight, he raises a new superhero right here in Minnesota. He's called the Man of the Night, like a Batman. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, definitely an honor. I think first and foremost, we moved on, so definitely proud of that. Obviously, you probably don't want the goalie being man of the match too many times, but when my name's called upon, the guys in front of me know that I'll be ready.
Frustrating at all have to wait 3 weeks to play again, given the way you guys have been playing?
A little bit, but it's better than the team having to play while I'm away on international duty, so we'll take that. But I think it's definitely something that the league needs to look at in terms of when they can kind of squeeze these games in or going on. Obviously, it's difficult with the national and the international break being at that time. So hopefully, I'm looking to kind of take my form over there and play in 2 games and move on over there as well.
The announcers noticed you chirping at Matt Crooks a bit. He was involved by your net quite a bit. Can you share what you were saying to him?
I think I was just yelling his name. I think when guys like to put the ball down and not look at me, I know that if I kind of create an environment, and we didn't have any stats on him for shooting any prior, so I didn't really know where he might be going. So if I can kind of really play into it, because at that moment I have nothing to lose, versus sometimes you have the data and you don't really want to say anything because they might switch. So in that moment, I'm just trying to be loud and telling him to kind of look at me and trying to build up as much time before he's actually able to kind of shoot the penalty with me pulling up my socks and things like that.
Time for one or two more? All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dane.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave.
Awesome.